Now, you guys already know that a lot of reviews for video games these days are normally bought and paid for. It's one of those things that they don't really want to talk about it publicly. And honestly, it's not really just these days. This has been a thing for a long time now. Bought and paid for reviews has been a thing since the beginning. Even the initial Gamergate, it's what started this whole thing off. But obviously, it wasn't bought with money, if you catch my drift. Now, we have an article here from The Gamer with a headline that reads, NetEase reportedly punishing content creators for criticizing Marvel Rivals. Yes, the people who got codes in order to play Marvel Rivals, apparently, according to their contract, they can't say anything bad about the game.
I plead the fifth.
And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, I will never, ever become a channel that shills for the mainstream. You will never catch me doing that whatsoever unless I am able to give my honest opinion on something. I refuse to do so. You have these content creators that are just trying to either maintain their media access or attain some sort of mainstream access. These people who have the access and have the codes for this game, yeah, they're locked down in this contract. They can't say a damn thing about it. They can't say anything negative about it. And apparently, some of them are being kicked from their contract by being caught on live streams talking negatively about the upcoming Marvel Rivals game. So let's get into this article, guys, from The Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It has a sub headline that reads, content creators who are offered Marvel Rivals codes says that the contract bans them for sharing negative reviews. Here's some highlights. Content creators share the contract they were asked to share for access to Marvel Rivals, banning them from providing negative reviews. The contract was already enforced and just recently banned podcast hosts from the creator platform. At least one of these bans since has been reversed, and the Marvel Rivals team says that it will revise the contract. So they're already getting insane amount of backlash for this, but you guys need to realize what you are signing up for when you sign these contracts. Like, if you sign a contract and you're just worried about getting the game first, you are setting yourself up for failure. You are setting yourself up for potential lawsuits. You don't even know what you're signing up for, because I guarantee you a lot of these people don't read the fucking contracts. Most of these content creators are actually usually pretty small. The only thing is they get these mainstream accesses because they're saying all the right things, right? They're not controversial creators like what I would be considered, though. They're not people speaking out against the mainstream. You know what I mean? Like, they are saying everything right, thus they get the access. It says content creators who were offered access to Marvel Rivals were reportedly made to sign a contract forbidding them from making subjective negative reviews of the game. The contract also says that the creator cannot engage in discussions that are detrimental to the reputation of the game or compare it to its competitors. Further still, it's claimed that publisher NetEase has already enforced the terms of the contract, kicking someone from the creator program for appearing on a podcast in which negative comments about Marvel Rivals were made. The podcast co-host says that they were preemptively banned too before they even signed the contract. So they watch. Listen, they watch, okay? As much as people want to say, oh, YouTubers are just, they're a small fringe group, whatever the case. No. YouTubers are absolutely mainstream now. That is just what it is. We have a much bigger voice than a lot of these shill companies, and especially these shill media websites like Kotaku, for example. We have a much bigger voice than they could ever hope to attain. So now they realize this, and these companies too realize this, so they're trying to heavily police it. I don't trust a game that doesn't allow you to give an honest review at all. If you are trying to say that you cannot give a negative review for this game in order to attain said game, then I don't need the game. I don't need to play it. I already know everything there is to know about the company and what the game is going to potentially provide. If you are trying to silence people like that, if you're trying to police free speech and thought like that, I know everything I need to know. We have a tweet here from someone called Brandon Larn that says, extremely disappointed in Marvel Rivals. Multiple creators asked for key codes to gain access to the playtest and are asked to sign a contract. The contract signs away your right to negatively review the game. Many streamers have signed it without reading just to play. Insanity. And that's what I was saying earlier. You fucking streamers and YouTubers out there that are doing this, you guys are retards. I hope you understand that. You are signing stuff and agreeing to things that you have no idea what you're agreeing to, and you're making it worse for people that actually may want to to pursue that, but now they're being subjected to these contracts that other people have signed just so easily because they don't read them. So now they expect you to do the same thing. It's stupid. Read what you're signing. Understand what you're actually signing. If you don't understand what you're signing, you are at the disadvantage all the time. This is a section of the contract was initially shared by former professional Overwatch player Brandon Larn, also known as Seagull. He commented that he was extremely disappointed with the move and noted that many would have signed the contract without reading it. Well, that's their fucking fault. Industry insider Miller Ross followed up by claiming that NetEase was already enforced in the contract. He recently appeared on the After Show podcast in which he and co-host Sadat the Gamer critiqued Marvel Rivals. During the podcast, Ross tells the other co-host Jay Shockblast to leave before they start talking about the game and the controversy, as he had signed the contract. This was not enough, and Ross has since shared that Jay was kicked out of the program. Sadat, who claims to have been preemptively banned for having Ross on the show in the first place, went into further detail about the contract on the podcast. Here he says that the other sections are worse and pretty egregious. Sadat said, adds that the creators aren't being paid, making this stipulation that they don't criticize the game even more unexpected. Just moments ago, however, Sadat said that he had been unbanned from the program. He shares a statement from the Marvel Rivals team in which they state that they will revise the contract, which it describes as inappropriate and misleading. Now, again, guys, I don't think it's inappropriate or misleading at all. I think they planned exactly what they wanted to do. They want to be able to control the conversation about Marvel Rivals. They don't want anybody to know the truth about the game, whatever that may be, right? Like, some people might play Marvel Rivals and actually genuinely think it's a good game, and they can say as such. But if you are going to try to control the negative reviews, I don't trust you. I don't trust what you are trying to do with the game. I don't trust what you are trying to control with the game. You clearly have your own ideology when it comes to this game and what you're trying to utilize it for. I'm good. I can totally skip on this. I mean, it's a mobile game anyway, so I really don't give a shit, but I can skip on this and I will be fine. Like, I know that there is a lot of companies out there that try to do this stuff, and most of the time they don't really get away with it. But this particular company seems like they thought they could get away with it, and they just started reinforcing it right off the bat, which sets a bad precedence for a lot of the gamers out there that are shilling for the mainstream right now, like Sadat the Gamer, and you are basically shitting in his bowl of Cheerios. You know what I mean? Like, you got these shills out here that will do anything to get your access, and you are trying to shit in their bowl while they do it. You're gonna lose people like that. You don't understand. You already don't have that many shills to begin with. So if you start to shit in the shills bowls, even though they eat shit a lot of the times, that's not going to be something they're probably going to eat. They're probably going to want to complain about that because they so desperately want you to recognize them. They're like, recognize me, senpai. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing. They're not going to accept that. So I'm happy to see they at least reversed it, because I do think no matter how much Sadat the Gamer is a shill, I do think he should not be banned from reviewing the game. I feel like you should be able to give your honest opinion about the game, but chances are, if you would have just let them play the game, they probably would have not said many bad things about it anyway, because again, these YouTubers out here that are shilling for the mainstream, they're doing so by not really saying much negative stuff about video games, okay? They'll only say it after it's safe, you know, a year down the line or whatever. They'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, that game was kind of trash, but you know, when the game is out and about, they're not really going to do that because they want free copies, they want review copies, they want all the benefits of being mainstream shills. So there's no reason for these companies to really do this, but it seems like they got ahead of themselves and they thought that they could control the narrative, and they found out, just like everybody finds out, when you fuck with gamers, yep, you kind of get fucked back. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.